guys, welcome back to the Nerdy Life Show. We're here live in Actionburg once again, and we're also doing a live feed straight to our Instagram so that everybody can see what we're doing today. And we're just going to be talking about some movies, some reviews, Obi-Wan Kenobi,
video games, toys, lots of topics.
Yeah, we're just talking about the nerdy life culture in general.
Yes.
So, off the bat, as you see this beautiful action figure in front of me, which is the Goliath figure, which came out from Neca, which came out about a couple of months ago, but I finally got it. What do you think of it so far? Like, you know, because you said you used to watch the show back in the day.
I used to watch Gargoyles, the animated series. Back in the 90s when I was a kid, I had the VHS tapes when I was a kid that came with the board game, actually.
Really?
They had a board game with the VHS tape, and so you could play the board game while you watch the animated series. I would watch the animated series first, and then I would try to play the board game with my parents and my friends. It was a lot of fun at the time. Back I think it came out first in 1992 or 93.
Actually, I have exactly when it came out because I did my homework and tried to
At least when the VHS tape came out. I don't know what date the animated series premiered.
October 24th, 1994.
1994, okay. So it was 94.
So for you new kids out there, Gargoyles was a show that came out from Disney in 1994.
Okay.
Disney had just started this new thing called Disney Afternoon. So like every Friday, they would have like DuckTales, Darkwing Duck, Tailspin.
Yeah.
And they would take like their best shows and they put it in like this one little like afternoon thing. And one of the shows that came out the most intriguing and had a major cult following, Gargoyles. Gargoyles was one of the more darker series.
Yeah, it was a darker, more mature series. It wasn't just for kids. It was like in the PG-13 realm, sort of. Like it was.
Especially the gun episode. Like the one where, so there's a cop in it and she has a gun, and one of the gargoyles is playing around with it and it goes off and shoots her in the back.
Right.
And that was one of the first times I remember seeing blood in a cartoon.
Yeah. It was really intense.
Yeah. And they weren't playing when they killed people. They were not.
The earlier episodes were intense, like when they start off in the past, and it was like a big battle scene.
The Vikings.
And there was like a good amount of killing and character deaths before they got sealed, frozen in stone, and then woke up 1,000 years later in the 20th century in the 90s, and it was really dark. And I'm happy the show is on Disney Plus. If you got Disney Plus, definitely check out Gargoyles. All 3 seasons are on there. There's 3 seasons. And the Goliath Chronicles.
The
Goliath Chronicles, yes.
Which my personally was when they failed.
Right, and they're all on Disney Plus.
Yeah. Unfortunately, with Disney Plus, though, they censored a lot of the episodes. So they took out the blood.
Right.
They took out a lot of the things that we had in the 90s before censorship really took over.
They might put in, like, don't they have like an adult, a more mature version under it, like under the episodes? Because they did that with Avatar. Avatar, they got the censored version, and they got the version you saw in theaters.
Okay.
You know, it's
like,
and now now they're bringing in the Defenders, and they got the TVMA stuff. So there's no excuse now. They should show the more mature Gargoyles. We now have, you know, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones with all that adult content that we remember from Netflix.
I would like that option.
Yeah.
A lot of shows like, hey, listen, I want the regular version without like saying, you know, A, B, and C, and the basic version where it says like, you know, like you know, everything's in there, like the ass, tits, and all that jazz. So
yeah, I don't think we'll ever see Song of the South ever again. But you know, if they wanted to put that movie up, they could just put in like a 10-minute warning. You know, kind of like what HBO Max did with Gone with the Wind, where they had a whole 10-minute, 5 to 10-minute segment of black people explaining the history of Gone with the Wind and why it's so offensive and racist, but that it's still a great and influential movie from 1939.
I would appreciate that a little bit. Like I actually do agree with that. So just a little recap as we were talking about. It was in the Disney Afternoon. It was, you know, the headlines were like Darkwing Duck, Tailspin, Bonkers.
All on Disney Plus.
Now all on Disney Plus. And it was, but you gotta understand, at this time, in this time frame, Disney was competing with Warner Brothers.
Yeah,
And they had Batman, the animated series.
yeah.
They had X-Men, which came out from Marvel.
What channel? It wasn't WB, right?
No,
Because
it
WB
was-
didn't have it until 95.
Yeah, 97, something like that. Like, they had more...
The WB network came out in 95.
Okay.
1995 with UPN.
Yes,
That's right. It was the
That's
same
right.
year.
You're right, my bad.
Yeah.
This is why I need this man.
Yeah. But it was because Paramount and Warner Brothers were competing with each other, so they came out with two competing networks. It was the WB network in 1995, and what also premiered was the UPN network, I think around the same month. And UPN had Star Trek Voyager. That was the only
Right.
show they had that was a success.
And I remember...
that time of running.
No, but the UPN also had like a lot of like weird cartoons
Yeah.
on their own. Like the one my personal favorite was Boxmaster.
Yeah, they had weird cartoons, and they also had a lot of black sitcoms as well.
Yeah, that was
A lot of black sitcoms. But the only show they had that premiered in January of 1995 that made it to a season 2 was Star Trek Voyager. And they didn't have a choice because Paramount was in charge of Star Trek, so they needed Star Trek to be the main draw for UPN to have viewership and subscribers. And WB, they didn't have any DC shows being made, but what they did come out 2 years later was Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and then Angel, and then
Yeah,
everybody.
which Buffy the Vampire Slayer for me kind of was good, and then Angel kind of like went that way.
Yeah. I love Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but I also love Angel.
I was never a fan of Angel.
Yeah. Well, I loved Angel the earlier seasons. Season 4 was not good, not that great. It had good moments, but season 5 was surprisingly really good. And it should have had a season 6, but because of circumstances behind the scenes, it got canceled.
Okay. So, going back to Gargoyles,
Yes.
just a little fun fact, now that you mentioned Star Trek and everything, most of the voices on the show was actually Star Trek Next Generation people.
That's right.
So you had like Riker, you had Deanna, you had
Red Spiner? Was he
Greg,
here?
yeah, he was in there.
Red Spiner.
He was.
What about Michael Dorn? Was Michael Dorn
Michael Dorn was there.
Okay.
There was a bunch of characters. That
We know the actor that played the main character in Gargoyles.
Yeah, that was a different person.
But he wasn't in Star Trek. He was in the thing, though.
Yes, he was.
That's right. He was. I forget his name.
But so I wrote out a couple. Like again, this figure is gorgeous. Like they did Neca.
Yeah.
Neca. They did a great job doing this figure.
That was done recently.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's gorgeous. Graphically, it's amazing.
Very attention to detail.
They did, and they did an awesome job on the wings. Like it has veins in it. Like, but there's bad things to it.
Why are bad things? I'm not the toy expert here, so please help me out. What's bad about
So the cons to me personally was the fact that the joints are maxed up.
it? Okay.
Okay, and especially the thigh over here, it has just one coupling. And if that coupling moves, you can't move the thigh.
Oh, okay.
The toes move, the hands move, the face changes. There's several things about this figure. The hair is stiff as hell. Like you need to move his hair to move the wings.
Right.
So like if you're trying to do something,
You have to put the hair all the way back.
yeah. And I was trying to do the pose that he does in the show, like on his perch.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
Right.
Another factor is in the cartoon, his wings used to fold on his chest.
Right.
When he was just walking normal, he didn't have his wings out. It would fold across his chest as like a cape.
Okay.
And that was always a fun thing for me to see in the show.
Yeah.
And if y'all know, I love Marvel Legends. So when I see something like this, I'm like, oh wow, Hasbro didn't do it, but I know the detail and everything. Like that's his chest, and the tail is this weird. This is the old type of cartoon where old type of toy where the tail's like a rubber thing.
Okay.
So it will never go back straight. Once you bend this tail, it's never gonna go back straight unless you like really like try to do like. If they would have did it sectionally,
Yeah.
it would have been a little bit easier.
Right.
Like that, like how Marvel Legends did with the lizard's tail. It was in sections.
Yeah.
So it was a little bit more easy to functionality. But overall, the figure's amazing. Like articulately, it's great. You can see his pouch area.
Right.
It looks very detailed. Just all around, it's a beautiful figure.
It just has its flaws.
Yeah, and then it's hard to pose. Like if you don't get this right, you're not gonna pose it right.
It's not going to stand up right. Okay.
Yeah. See, like Marvel Legends, they came out with Archangel a couple of years, like about 2 years already.
Okay.
And as you see, his wings actually fold back. There's 2 sets of wings. Everything folds back, and it even folds inward.
Oh, cool.
So you can actually go like this and have it like fold inward and do some great shit. It actually reminds me more of a Gundam Wing Zero.
Yeah.
That's another feature. Like I could have seen them do that with this a little bit better.
Okay.
So this figure, I kind of give it out of 10, about a 6.
Okay.
Everything else is great about it.
You give it a what out of?
Out of 10?
You give it a 10 out of 10?
No, I give it a 6.
Oh, 6 out of 10. Okay.
Like graphically, it's amazing. Like the pieces that come with it is cool. Like they have the jalapeno, they have a change of face.
This wasn't made by Hasbro, right?
No,
Hasbro, I think, does a better job at making toys.
Yeah,
I believe that.
Hasbro and Bluefin.
Yeah. Specifically, Transformers toys are the best.
Yes.
The best looking.
Yo, ever since Bluefin took over Transformers and like what
Hasn't been the same.
it was amazing. Like absolutely. And I'm a big Transformer fan, and everybody. But thank you guys. Like, but this was like they really did a great job. Like the faces, the different hands. They even did the book.
Oh, cool.
When he's in the library.
That's right. I remember that book. It was cool. I like the whole lore behind it with the book and the animated series. That's right.
So they did a great job. It's about $50 if you want to pick it up.
Okay.
$50, $30 depending on where you go. But it's a big box.
Speaking of gargoyles too, of the 90s, you know, the 90s was a big decade for diversity in television, so you had a lot of black sitcoms, a lot of more black and brown representation on television at the time. And gargoyles, some of the main characters were people of color.
Right.
The woman who played the police officer was a black woman. She was a woman of color.
She was Mexican and African.
That's right, Mexican and African. That was a big deal. That was back in the 90s. I remember that.
And I love the fact that they, oh my God, what's her name? Nicole? Ahura. Sorry guys, I'm eating while we're talking because we're in
Action Burger.
Action Burger. And I'm eating these awesome nachos, which is so good right now. We're also doing the burger of the week, which is the mac and cheese with bacon.
Yes. Mac and cheese with bacon.
This looks like crack in a cup. I can't wait to dig into this.
It's my favorite burger here at Action Burger. My favorite burger. The mac and cheese burger.
We talked about it in the last episode, but this is the first time I'm doing the mac and cheese burger because I know Brian, our former co-host, he did the mac and cheese when he came here the first time. He was like, "I'm doing mac and cheese." I was like, "All right," and his face was like this. It was just
another Brian.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. And he loved mac and cheese.
Yeah.
Nice. Kindred spirits.
Brian, we love you. And Bro Builders, much love.
Yeah. Yeah.
Elden Ring.
But before we do that, we're gonna dig into the mac and cheese burger right now. This is a beaut. Look at this. Oh, Rocky, she has everything in it. Oh, she has some bacon. She has cheese. She has mac and cheese.
It's a great burger. Full of sustenance.
Ready, bro?
Yep, I'm ready.
I can't even grab it.
There we go.
Well, that's really good.
Kind of like Samuel Jackson in Pulp Fiction. This is a tasty burger.
Oh my God. This is amazing stuff.
The pizza burger is a great burger, but but this is even greater. It'd be like if pizza burger was a 10 out of 10, this would be like a 10.5. This is like a 10.5.
On the Richter scale.
I know, 10.6, something. 11 out of 11.
I want an 11 a day. So yeah, guys, burger of the week, mac and cheese with bacon. Do it, these up. You gotta do it at least once in your life. Just once, just sit down and have a mac and cheeseburger. Fuck the diet.
Yeah. Woo! It's like no diet.
Who diet what?
Decide this is your cheat day. If you're gonna have a cheat day, have a mac and cheese burger.
This is the burger, bro. So on the virgin side, I always get the cherry Coke slushy, cherry Pepsi slushy. This gentleman is always drinking Dr. Pepper, and we eventually now that you're part of us, we gotta get you a T-shirt, bro. You know that. You're gonna be one of us. One of us.
That's good. We're great to have a T-shirt.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh my god, that was so good. But that one. Woo! I'm gonna need a cigarette after this burger. Bro, I did like 5 bites and you're already done. See, that's a pro. He can handle the beef in his mouth.
Yeah. Well, because I've eaten this burger a million times. I've had this burger for like 3 or 4 years. When I first got created.
Well, on top of that, guys, I'm eating the nachos that they serve here, which is amazing. And it has ground beef on top of it, which is fandelicioso. Fridays, we're going to be doing live shows.
Wednesdays and Saturdays.
Wednesdays and Saturdays. They're going to be doing Halo nights on Wednesdays. So if you're good at Halo, you're nice good with that pistol.
Yeah, Wednesdays are Halo nights, so if you're good with the pistol, but just want to let you know, on Halo nights, we have 400 shield, and we play Capture the Flag. Mostly Capture the Flag. But if you want to take down the 400 shield, you need a plasma rifle and then shoot with a pistol or a shotgun to bring down the health. You gotta get good with kills and be really good at capturing the flag. You gotta know where to go. You know, it's a whole strategy.
But it's all good and fun too.
I used to be terrible at that version of Halo with 400 energy and capture the flag. I used to be awful. But you know what I did? I got a stimulus check from the president. Joe Biden, sorry. And I used that money to get an Xbox One X, and I was practicing with Halo every single night. So
that's pretty dope. I mean, I have an Xbox One also.
Yeah, Xbox One X. That was the one that came out in 2018, and I was playing Halo every single day. I got the Master Chief Collection. I was playing it every day, got it good, get good. I kept getting good, and now I'm really good. So
from PlayStation 2 to Xbox 360, I didn't go through PlayStation 3.
Okay.
And I'll tell you right now, it was amazing. But I jumped in like Halo 2. I didn't jump in with Halo 1 right off the bat like everybody else. And met some amazing people. Like honestly, with the Xbox 360, met some amazing people. Met like a huge, grand crowd in Soul Calibur 4 and Soul Calibur 5. So I just want to give a shout out to Von, my boy Von, JB, Peppy, Hispanic Panic, Justin. Like all these are the people that we used to spend hours upon hours playing Soul Calibur.
When I had the old Xbox, I used to play All day, all night. I used to play Rainbow Six Siege.
That was good.
Rainbow Six Siege for the Xbox Live. Yo, we used to talk so much shit on those Xbox lobbies, those lobbies where you're waiting to play a game on Rainbow Six Siege. I made so many good friends. I was part of different clans. I got really great at that game, and I played all the way till they shut down the servers. Yeah, so I played that game from 2003 to 2010.
Nice.
From the old Xbox to the Xbox 360, and I played that game for 7 years, and by the end of my run I had 100,000 kills and 50,000 deaths.
Well, I was never a shooting person, like a first-person shooter.
You were in the fighting games.
I was a fighter. I was a fighter. I was like in the arcades. I was a fighter. At home, it was like Mega Man or fighting. So I was never a first-person shooter. And but I got into Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2.
I love that game.
Met some wonderful people again, like Jessica. With Halo 2 and 3, I met a friend of mine that I'm actually gonna meet after 15 years.
Oh, nice. I used to love Halo 2. Halo 3 was my favorite. Halo 3 I preferred over Halo 2.
Yeah. But so, Barbie, I love you. I love your husband. I love your 2 children. I can't wait to finally meet you. And yeah, like I know that girl for like almost 15 years, and she has a wonderful husband, 2 beautiful boys. I actually started meeting some of the people that I used to talk to on Xbox, and like I have a picture with JB, with Jessica, and like so I'm one of those people that I will actually be like I tell people straight up, I'm a friend you can keep. So I'm that person, and I will meet you, eventually.
That's cool.
But with all that jazz going on,
back to the topic.
Let's go back to topic, which is
Elden Ring.
Which is I've been hearing so much about.
Fantastic game. It's an open world action RPG created by From Software. They are the creators of the Armored Core games, which a lot of people used to play. They haven't made an Armored Core game since I think 2005, 2006. It's been a while. But there was this creator from Software named Hayao Miyazaki. Miyazaki is the creator of the Souls games. He's the one that started the genre. And so he joined From Software in 2002. He was like a writer and assistant person on the Armored Core games, but he took on this fantasy game that From Software was stuck on. They didn't know what to do with it. So he took it on, and what he did is that he added his own lore and backstory because Miyazaki is a huge fan of medieval fantasy, the medieval times, medieval writings, and medieval history in Western Europe and England and all that stuff. And it's interesting too because he's from Japan, but he loved reading so much about Western history in the medieval times. So he incorporated all of his knowledge into Demon Souls, and he decided to make it a really difficult game. And the game came out in February 2009. And oh boy, that game kicked everybody's ass. It was one of the toughest.
I love the memes that people have with Link, where he was like, "Why did you die?" And he's like, "This is Demon Souls, bitch."
I know. Yeah, there used to be a lot of those memes back in 2009. But a lot of people beat the game. For many people, it took a couple of months. Some people took a little bit shorter, some longer. And I never played Demon Souls back in 2009 because I never had a PS3.
Okay.
The PS3 at the time was too expensive for me, so I bought an Xbox 360. But I never played a Souls game or a Souls-like game until last summer. In the summer of 2021, I decided to play my first Souls-like game that was created by Miyazaki, that was from Software, and it's called Sekiro. Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. And it is the toughest game I have ever played.
My lord, yes it is.
You will feel the rage after a while when you get further, take on some bosses. Some bosses piss me off so much, but I never got too angry to where I wanted to break my game system. Because that's expensive.
But
I'm sorry. People who do that got money.
The fact that you said it and I got chills on my stomach, I was like, oh no.
Yeah, Sekiro, there were tough games I used to play as a kid, like Ninja Gaiden. Ninja Gaiden was a tough game, but it's a great game. Ninja Gaiden is tough, but Sekiro is insanely tough.
Yeah.
But there are ways to cheat.
It was beautifully done, though.
It was beautifully done, and there are ways to choose the game. And I admit, the first time you play Sekiro, when you get to the last boss named Ishin, the Sword Saint, Ishin is borderline unfair. Because he's borderline unfair when you get to him on your first try because there's like 4 different phases. There's the first phase where you gotta fight his grandson named Genichiro.
Yeah.
You gotta take him on, and it's Genichiro in his final form, but he doesn't use lightning. And you could kill him because you memorize his moves. But then you get to his grandfather, and oh boy, even deflecting this guy can knock down your posture gauge. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And you can never block. You have to deflect. If you block, he will knock down your posture gauge so fast, and then you're dead before you know it. But
I remember playing that game when I worked in GameStop. I got that game for free for being a manager.
Oh, nice.
And that, even then, I was just like,
even free, you were like,
I'm gonna fuck this game up.
Yo.
This is a hard ass game.
It was so difficult, but one of the great things about Sekiro was that it teaches Souls players how to get good again, because Souls games have a particular style. You block, you roll, you wait for your opponent to make the move, and you get behind them and you try to get a backstab or you hit him a few times. And blocking is key in Dark Souls games, especially when you have a really powerful shield. In Sekiro, you can't block, you have to deflect. And Sekiro, you have to focus on upgrading your skills with your arm, because your arm has different abilities that's attached to it. Because in the beginning of the game, you fight Genichiro, you get your arm cut off, and you get a prosthetic arm from the old man who is making the Buddhist statues in the temple, in the Buddhist temple. So you got the prosthetic arm, and you got different weapons. You can shoot out fire, you can shoot out weapons, you can shoot out spears, you can shoot out all types of stuff. Anyways, when I got to Ishin, before I fought Ishin, the hardest boss I fought was the Guardian 8. That took me 4 hours.
That was
4.5 hours.
Walk the fuck away.
Yeah.
Like that one was nah, bro.
The Guardian 8 took me 4.5 hours to beat, and I was enraged. I was so angry, but I finally took him out. I finally killed the Guardian 8. And after 4.5 hours, I finally killed the Guardian 8. And I was so happy, I was so ecstatic, when I finally killed the Guardian 8. But I was like, I need to take a break. I need to decompress. I need to watch some TV show, something that's going to make me happy.
That boss, when you finally beat it,
you're just exhausted. You're just like enraged and exhausted.
You need a vacation just from that game.
Yeah.
So now with Elden Ring, it's kind of like Skyrim on crack.
Right. Well, actually, Elden Ring's open world is similar to Skyrim, The Witcher 3, and Breath of the Wild. But the difference between Elden Ring and Breath of the Wild is that Elden Ring, you have so much more shit to do in the open world. You could go anywhere, there's so much to do. You even go to locations to where people are fighting each other. People are fighting. Hit the bell. Hit the bell.
Hit the bell.
Hit the bell up front. Up front. The bell up front.
There's a bell in the front.
There's a bell in the front. The bell. Yeah, just hit that. Anyways, okay.
Alright.
Okay, so Elden Ring, there's so much shit to do in Elden Ring. You can go anywhere. And you can even go to areas where enemies are fighting each other. Enemies are going to war. And you can like kill a couple of them to get some stuff. Like, okay, I got further up into the map, right? There was this little side quest I was doing with the Wolfman and the sword. Spoiler alert, spoilers for that side quest. I go up further, there are characters, NPCs battling each other that are more powerful than me, just a little bit. So they're battling each other. What I did is that I summoned some spirits, I killed a couple of them, got some runes, and then when a big giant came along, I got out of there. And that's one of the great things about Elden Ring. There's so much freedom to do things. You can fight enemies. If it gets too much, you can leave. You can get yourself super powerful.
So I have a question for you though. Like with Elder Scrolls, is it multiplayer? Like let's say for shits and giggles, let's say like we both jump onto the same network, like on Xbox. Can I join your game?
Yeah, but I have to put together like a password. So you put together a password, and I gotta tell you what the password is. You type in the password, you can jump into my game, and we can go around, team up, and try to kill different bad guys, different bosses, mini bosses, and all types of stuff.
Right.
But with Sekiro, you had to get good and focus on your skill set.
Right.
Elden Ring, but Sekiro's more forgiving than Souls games, because in a Souls game, if you die, you lose all your currency.
Right.
And then you gotta collect all that shit again, or you gotta risk going to I played the first Dark Souls game, and this is why I took a break from the game. I'm gonna go back to it and beat it. But I got all the way down to the cave where the skeletons keep Awakening or whatever. I keep killing them, right? I died 1,000,000 times going down here. I knew I was in this place a little bit too early, but I had a super powerful weapon, so I know I could kill them and get further down. I beat the main boss, summoning an NPC. After killing the boss, I go further into this dark area where there's all these giants.
Right.
I died, and I lost almost 25,000 souls. And then I tried to go back down there to get the souls, and I died again.
Damn.
And I lost 25,000 souls. Now, Elden Ring is a little bit more forgiving than that. Sekiro is more forgiving. If you die in Sekiro, you only lose half your currency, and that's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, check out Elden Ring.
Yes, Elden Ring is great. Elden Ring
So,
is...
if you had a chance, like, because you play, I haven't played it yet.
Okay.
Okay. Let's just say, for shits and giggles, let's say we bumped into each other in GameStop and go, and you hear me talking to the GameStop employee, and he's a total idiot.
Okay.
Because they have that. They have girls working there for no reason. Like, not that girls are not gamers, because I know a couple of female gamers that will blow your mind and, like, kill you like that.
Yeah.
But they hire people that don't know anything about games.
Right.
And you hear me talking to them, I'm like, listen, I want something like Skyrim-ish. How would you sell me this game?
Well, I would say Elden Ring is like Skyrim in the sense that, but it's not. It's more of an action RPG than Skyrim. It has a high difficulty level, but if you keep playing it and keep leveling up your character and keep acquiring items and weapons and stuff, you will become more powerful. And like every Souls game, if you want an easy mode in Elden Ring, you gotta try the mage build. The mage build, you can cheese everything from afar. There's so much, and unlike Skyrim, it's not a straightforward story. You have to talk to NPCs, you got to piece together, which is a Miyazaki trait. When Miyazaki makes his games, the story is cryptic.
Yeah.
The lore and the backstory was written by George R. R. Martin, and he came up with the lore and everything in Elden Ring, and it's such deep lore. It's so fascinating. It feels great to really play in a fantasy game in a fantasy world, because when you read like cynical, it's high fantasy, but it's also cynical fantasy in the sense that you can die at any moment.
Okay.
And there's danger everywhere. And so George R. R. Martin incorporates his writings from A Song in Ice and Fire, which is cynical fantasy where you can die at any moment, your favorite characters can die, and magic doesn't always save you. And when magic does save you, it's not in a good way. Like, you don't get good results with magic saving you like Harry Potter. If magic brought me back to life, or Lord of the Rings. When Gandalf came back as Gandalf the White, he was more powerful and the good guys won. In A Song of Ice and Fire, if Gandalf comes back, he loses who he was, and he's probably a little bit more cynical, and maybe the good guys would still get killed. But that's Elden Ring. Elden Ring has George R. R. Martin's lore, and it feels like you're in a real dangerous fantasy setting where anything could kill you.
So, let's go on to the next topic, which is Pokemon.
Okay.
It's a little lighter.
We went from Software, Elden Ring Souls games to Pokemon, but actually,
It's still RPG-ish.
it's still RPG. The new Pokemon open world game, Arceus.
Arceus? No, but I'm talking more about the Scarlet and Violet that's about to come out.
Yes, that's going to come out, but I want to give a shout out to Arceus. I like that game is challenging. Arceus has a lot of game-breaking bugs, and that game should have been worked on for like another year. But Arceus, like Elden Ring, is a very difficult game to play.
Okay.
And you got to adapt.
So it's technically like it's Pokemon and Elden Ring's mixed.
Everyone's copying Miyazaki right now.
Okay.
Because Miyazaki found a niche audience that wanted to play difficult games, and Dark Souls 3 sold 10 million copies in 4 years. And by the way, leading up to Elden Ring, you could not buy Dark Souls 3 in any Best Buy. None. You couldn't find. And back in December of 2021, every Best Buy was sold out with Dark Souls 3, even in New Jersey.
Yeah.
Every Best Buy. I had to buy Dark Souls 3 on Amazon.
Amazon sometimes can be your friend.
It's crazy. It's crazy. And what's crazy is that game had sold so much on Amazon, it took 2 weeks to make it to my house. Instead of 2 days. I couldn't believe it. I was like, everyone's buying this game. But all right, on the Pokemon.
As you can tell, he's a Elden Ring's fanboy.
Yes, I know. I'm a Miyazaki fanboy. I'm a From Software fanboy. And this is coming from a guy that loves playing games on easy mode. Don't get me wrong. I love playing Sony games on easy mode or story mode, so I can experience the story.
You
can enjoy the game. I love Horizon Forbidden West. It's like a very long movie.
Horizon's good though.
Yeah, it's like a very beautiful game, a beautiful movie that I get to experience. And so I'm playing the game in story mode to experience the story and Aloy, the character development.
Okay.
But I play games for difficulty as well.
Okay. So, with that said, Scarlet and Violet, the commercial, the preview commercial,
Yeah.
the Japanese commercial.
Nintendo Direct.
That has to be at least one of the most sickest previews I've ever seen.
It was very beautiful.
Where you see like the security guard like looking around with the flashlight, and all you hear is like shit in the background. And you're like, yo, that's so. They're really doing a great job with Pokemon.
The franchise is doing great right now.
It's about time that they did an original game.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah.
Not a remake or like Diamond and Pearl. Like, don't get me wrong, I love Diamond and Pearl. I love Soul Silver and Heart Gold and all that jazz.
Boy, they're doing a remake of that, right? Diamond and Pearl. They're doing like an upgraded version.
They did that already.
They did that already.
Yeah.
So it already came out. Okay.
That came out. Like, so this is going to be a whole new world, new characters, new starters.
Like Arceus, yeah. Like Arceus,
so it's actually really fun because the last couple of games wasn't hitting the mark. Like Sun and Moon was horrible. I remember when I worked at GameStop, we had a midnight release for Sun and Moon, and that shit did good.
I thought you said Sailor Moon. You said Sun and Moon.
Sun and Moon.
Pokemon Sun and Moon?
Sun and Moon.
So nobody liked that?
I didn't like it.
Okay.
Not many people liked it.
Okay.
To the point where they had to come up with fixing all the bugs, and they had to come up with Ultra.
Oh yeah.
Remember?
I heard about this mess. I wasn't a part of it though.
Yeah.
I don't have a Switch yet. I don't have I don't play any Nintendo games as of late. I haven't had a Nintendo console in forever.
With this one, I'm probably going to dust with my Switch.
Okay.
Because it looks really good. It looks a lot crisper.
Yeah.
It looks very good.
Yeah.
I'm really interested in playing this game. One of my personal favorites is X and Y.
Okay.
To me, that was the most original storyline. The characters were very well done. The starters were well balanced. Everybody, even the mythological ones, the legendaries, were fun to play with.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Okay. So for me, X and Y is going to be one of my favorites out of my top 3.
The only Pokemon game I've played in the last 6 years was Pokemon Go.
Okay.
And that game was very, very successful. That game made $4 billion.
Right, because it was
because of the microtransactions. You know, it's a mobile game. You pay to play after a while.
Right, and I remember
it was fun.
I remember when Pokemon Go came out. Little fun story.
Okay.
Models was it was me, my boy Pedro, and our former producer Hector.
Right.
We went to go Pokemon hunting.
Oh, nice.
And we walked literally 40 blocks from GameStop to like Bay Ridge. We walked like 40 blocks across Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And as we're walking,
I once walked from 145th Street to 110th to catch Pokemon.
I probably would have been with this dude. So,
I caught a lot of Pokemon.
so as we're walking, all of a sudden I feel brown. I'm like, what the fuck? What is going on? And the soles of my sneaker came off.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
So I was literally Jesus.
That's happened to me a few times.
I had to walk into Modell's that was right there on 86.
And you had to get new shoes.
Yeah, I walked in barefoot and they're like, what happened, bro?
You thought you were a homeless person playing Pokemon Go? That happens.
Yeah. I was just like, this happened, yeah. So, let's talk about the 3 starters that's going to come up. The new starters, like, Serchigio, which is the cat grass type. Fuecoco, which is the crocodile fire type.
Pikachu as well?
Pikachu's going to be in the game, right?
Well, I know, but is he a starter?
No. Actually, these
okay.
3
are
the starters. And the last one's like some shit. It's a duck water type. But it has the only like emo haircut to it. Like, it's like, why, bro?
And when they make a Pokemon Go, you can almost guarantee some version of Pikachu is going to be in it.
Yeah.
I mean, Pikachu is, at this point, he's bigger than Sonic and Mario and Luigi.
If anything, he's up there.
He's up there as far as the iconic, cute characters of pop culture. Pikachu is in the top 3 or top 2.
Hands down.
Hands down, yeah.
They haven't mentioned anything about like if there's going to be a Mega Evolution or what their evolution is going to look like. So at the moment, that's one of the games coming out, and that's gonna come out later this year. Like most likely, they always do like November-ish around that time.
Yeah, well, for the holidays, so it'll be November or February.
Yeah.
I think our Arceus, Pokemon Arceus, it's a good game, and now I haven't played. I don't play Nintendo Switch games because I don't have a Nintendo system, but I watch the games. Like they have the cutscenes, they have the gameplay, and they're like 7, 8, 10-hour movies that you can watch. You can sit there and watch it and review what you're watching. So Arceus, I feel should have been worked on another 6 to 7 months. I don't think it should have come out in February or 2022, or is it January? It was January, February 2022. January 2022. Yeah, it should have come out in October, November. It needed a lot of work to do. There's some bugs and glitches in that game where some of the Pokemon who should not be flying in the sky are flying in the sky. Like, it's so funny.
Yeah, okay, so
it's so hilarious.
I'm gonna say like that's one Pokemon game I don't have yet, unfortunately.
And Elden Ring got performance issues too. I just want to warn people. As great as the game is, I highly recommend getting it for the PS5, Xbox One X, or even the PS4. The game is so great on console, or Xbox Series X, S, whatever. It's so great on console. For PC, Elden Ring is not working well. I don't know what it is about Japanese game studios and PC, but PC gaming is not super popular in Japan in comparison to consoles. And so the PC ports, at least from software, are usually a big mess. Dark Souls was kind of famous for that. When they put Dark Souls on PC, the buttons were the Xbox buttons, not the PC buttons.
Because
so people didn't know which button was like. Wait, is it A, B? Where? So you got to hit all the buttons, F, C, F, W, whatever, to figure out what the button was. So From Software has a rough history when it comes to PC, but on console, they are always great. This game is so gorgeous, so advanced, and you can play the game on your base consoles that came out in 2013 and 2014, which is a lot better than CDPR with what they did with Cyberpunk 2077. A game that I love, but CDPR does worse on console than they do on PC.
Right. So
back to Pokemon.
Well, no, we're done with Pokemon.
Oh, we're done with Pokemon. Okay.
We're gonna go to the next genre.
Next genre.
Hadouken!
Oh, Street Fighter 6.
Street Fighter 6!
That trailer was awesome,
Yo,
sir. That was a great trailer.
You know what? When I saw the trailer, the first thing I did was I went on my Instagram and I was like, oh my god, it's Mel. But you see,
I shared the trailer to all my friends that play Street Fighter. Street Fighter is very popular here at Action Burger. The owner of the restaurant, Blaine, plays Street Fighter all the time with another friend of ours named Dag, who plays Street Fighter all the time. So I shared Street Fighter 6, and you play Street Fighter all the time too. So this is a big thing.
He whooped my ass.
Yeah, this is a big thing, and I'm not big on Street Fighter, but this is great.
The fact that they already came out with the roster, they're talking about bringing other characters already as DLC.
Oh yeah.
They're talking about bringing Akira from Rival Schools.
I love that character.
Ken from Alpha, Dudley, Fei Long. Like, these are characters that they're talking about bringing in.
Of course, Chun-Li's going to be in it. We know all the classic
characters. Yeah, the basic characters.
Ryu, Chun-Li, yeah.
But what really nailed it was that intro with Luke. Like,
yeah.
So I wanted, like, my biggest beef with Street Fighter is that they keep coming up with all these games and keep fluctuating the time frame, the timeline. So in Street Fighter 2, the old Street Fighter 2, they jumped to Street Fighter Alpha, which was like 3 Street Fighter 2, and then they went to Street Fighter Third Strike, Street Fighter 3, which was like years after. Street Fighter 4 was like in between Street Fighter 3, like 2.5. Street Fighter 6 is like after everything. I mean, Street Fighter 5 is like after everything. And I'm kind of interested to see where they're going to go with 6.
This sounds like a Hideo Kojima game series. It sounds like Metal Gear Solid. This is why I don't love Metal Gear Solid, because you need to play the games in a certain order to understand everything, and I'm like, really? So this is what Street Fighter is.
Right. And most of y'all know I love Street Fighter. I'm a Street Fighter fan for many years.
Yeah.
But I was expecting more. I want to see... I think it's time for Ken to retire. I think it's time that Mel should take up the Mel Masters should take up the gloves.
How is the timeline with Street Fighter in comparison to the timeline of Mortal Kombat?
Whoa.
That's even more convoluted?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought it was simpler.
my brain just went, whoa.
Your brain just exploded.
I don't know.
It's even worse. first, huh? Okay.
So, but you know, I think it's time to bring back Mel, an adult Sakura. I'd like to see an older Ibuki.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of characters that I would like to see. To pacify us for the time, Marvel decided to come out with the collector's edition with all the Darkstalker games. That has Red Earth, it has Red Earth and Cyberbots, and Street Fighter, how you put 2 Puzzle Fighters and the Gem Fighters. But honestly, Capcom, like one-on-one, bro, you need to come up with a 3D collection. Like, bring back Rival Schools or Project Justice. Let us get a Technomancer, Power Stone.
I think they're thinking of this stuff. This is why they're releasing Street Fighter 6. They want to gauge how people are going to respond to certain things, and then they'll bring in a lot of that stuff.
Well, I'm just hoping that, if anything, a new Power Stones, like the Power Stone 3, with the new gen systems, bro. Bro,
yeah,
oh my God.
it would be wild. Like for the PS5, for the Xbox Series X, it would be crazy.
I'm sorry, I need a moment. Don't touch the sensitive.
I mean, look what, especially if Capcom wanted to team up with a studio like Bluepoint. Like Bluepoint does such a phenomenal job at upgrading games in a gorgeous way. Look at the Demon Souls remake from Bluepoint for the PlayStation 5. The visuals and the graphics for that game were breathtaking. Better than Elden Ring, and Elden Ring is gorgeous.
Right.
But to have that with a Street Fighter game would be fantastic.
Well, I'm waiting to see what they're going to do, because most likely they're going to come up with the collector's edition. Because you know Capcom. Capcom is the... P. Diddy, you know, Puff Daddy and Capcom are the same people. They come up with the same thing over and over again, and then they remake it. So it's going to have Street Fighter 6, Street Fighter Arcade Edition, Street Fighter Championship, Super Street Fighter 6, Hyper Attention Street Fighter 6.
And for a total of $200.
Yeah, exactly. Like, they're going to come out with like every freaking thing at the end, like Championship.
Bundle of
Super
200.
Yeah. So Capcom is oldie infamous for that.
And you don't even know if the game's going to be completely perfect either, right? You don't know you don't know how buggy and glitchy they're going to be, right?
How about when Street Fighter?
That's a risk with that 200.
When Street Fighter 5 came out, half the game wasn't even there.
Right. Yeah. That's right. I heard about that.
I remember getting Street Fighter 5 and I was like, what the fuck? Why is there all this shit here? Like,
So,
there was mad. There was about this much of the game and about this much like blocked up.
I hate to use this to go back to talking about Elden Ring, but that's the thing with a lot of these game studios and why they're so salty and butthurt at From Software for making a beloved, successful game that, while it has performance issues on PC and a little bit on the game systems, it has all the content they promised at E3 for many, many years. They have all the content. There are so many game studios that promise the content, and then the content is not there. And this is why Ubisoft right now is butthurt, because they release 400-hour games or 500-hour games, and there's mostly nothing in the game, or nothing what they promise, and they expect you to pay $60 and then another $100 in microtransactions for everything. And this is why, while Assassin's Creed Valhalla sold 3 million copies, they made $1 billion within the first year and a half of release because of the microtransactions. But they're salty because From Software did everything you're not supposed to do in an open world game, and they sold way more copies in a shorter amount of time because From Software doesn't hold your hand. In their open world game, you gotta figure it out. You gotta talk to NPCs. You gotta memorize NPCs. You gotta take notes to go to this direction, this direction, this direction. And all the items and all the great weapons you get in the game, you can just pick up the items and then level up your character to use the items. While if this was Ubisoft, they would be charging you like $5 for a great sword, $10 for a super great sword, or $20 for something for your horse. And it's like, these are such greedy studios, and they get salty when somebody chooses art instead of greed, and then pay dividends.
Right.
You know.
So, on a lighter note, we're gonna start talking about movies.
Movies. Ah, yes. All these delays that happened this week, man.
Yes.
Ever since Monday.
So,
all these delays.
In another week and a half, Morbius is coming out. Morbius is coming out April 1st.
April 1st.
All right. Sonic 2. I'm actually really excited about Morbius because I want to see how Jay Leno plays Morbius.
Jared Leno.
Jared Leno.
You said Jay Leno.
Jared Leto.
Jared Leto.
Did Morbius. Because why am I mixing up the names right now? Did Morbius.
He's in everything, that's why. Jared Leto is... he came back, he's in everything.
That's the thing.
Again.
Coming back, but I'm interested to see what's the universe that we're in.
It's a different universe.
Are we in the MCU universe?
No.
Are we in Tom Hardy's universe? Tom Holland's?
We're in Tom Hardy's universe, I think, because all the universes are connected and all the universes are canon now because of the partnership between Sony, Marvel, and Disney.
Right.
And because of Spider-Man: No Way Home, all the universes are canon. Tobey Maguire is canon. Andrew Garfield is canon. The Venom movies are canon. Morbius is going to be canon, so the trailer looks nice. It looks good, but I'm not super excited about it.
I think he looks better here than he did as a Joker.
Well, he didn't have enough scenes to really establish himself as a great Joker.
But even with the little bit of scenes, he looks more like the character in this one.
Yeah.
Than the Joker, because I hated his Joker. Even though he had like very little lines, I couldn't stand his Joker.
Well, his Joker, they filmed better, more serious scenes. They have him better be portrayed as the Joker because David Ayer, his cut of the movie never got released. The theatrical cut and the extended cut were cuts made by Warner Brothers.
Well, they should just come out with a Blu-ray and just have like a 4K.
Well, they should come out with his cut like we did with Zack Snyder. They came out with the Snyder cut. They should come out with the David Ayer cut so we can see how great Jared Leto's performance actually was that got gutted in post-production in the editing process.
Sliced. Not even gutted. That was sliced.
Yeah. Yeah, it was sad. It was sad what happened. And it wasn't a good movie because of that.
Right. The next one, because my daughter's a big Sonic fan, so Sonic 2, April 6th, which I'm excited to see Knuckles.
I'm excited to see Knuckles too.
Next one on the list, April 15th, Fantastic Beasts Harry Potter, which is a double bar where like he starts with school and all that jazz. Then May 6th is Doctor Strange 2. So yeah, Doctor Strange. I'm excited to see that movie and the whole multiverse thing, and to find out what happened after Spider-Man.
Yeah, I mean that's a great thing because they're going to be introducing. They're using as much as I thought No Way Home was a great movie. The movie did have some plot holes because of the multiverse stuff. Right. That's why I didn't give the movie a 9.5 or a 10 out of 10. I gave it a 9 out of 10 because even though it was a great, fun, exciting, exhilarating experience, that was great to see it with a sold-out theater. With so many people for the first time in 2 years, that was a great experience. It did have flaws and plot holes, and I think can become problematic as things keep going. But they're using all this stuff to bring in characters that historically have not been a part of the MCU.
Right.
So Doctor Strange in the Multiverse is going to be used to bring in the X-Men, and it's about time. I know, about time. As much as I know, we all know who Bryan Singer is, and him being a creepy sex pervert and all that, but what he did with X-Men was really great for the time. Days of Future Past is very good. X-Men 2 was very good. X-Men Apocalypse was not good at all.
No.
That was a terrible. That was a terrible character design. Horrible design of Apocalypse. That's the worst Apocalypse ever.
I actually was almost so bad.
No, it's okay. And we all have the right to be angry at how that movie turned out. But
look up on my boy. It's Apocalypse.
They made him look like a villain from Power Rangers.
Yeah, they made him look like Ooze.
The fall of the X-Men happened in 2004. What happened was the guy who was producing the X-Men movies was so angry about not getting any credit for making the X-Men movies the hit that they were, and all the credit was going to Bryan Singer because he was the director, and he was the reason to why those movies were so good at the time. And the producer wasn't getting any credit, so he was very upset with Bryan Singer. As far as Bryan Singer was concerned, he wasn't coming back for the third movie. So he left Fox Studios to go do Superman Returns, which was not a good movie at all. And Brett Ratner, who was another creepy sex pervert, went on to direct X-Men 3, and X-Men 3 turned out to be even worse than Superman Returns. Both of those movies were not good. But X-Men 3, to me, was actually a terrible movie. So that was the fall of X-Men. It was because of an egotistic producer who felt like he wasn't getting the credit that he got. and ostracized Bryan Singer, and so we've never had a good Phoenix movie. We never had a good Apocalypse movie. A Phoenix movie by Bryan Singer could have been so good, but instead it was given to Brent Ratner, who made a short, convoluted, rushed, choppy, and terrible movie that was an hour and 46 minutes long, and it is the worst X-Men movie of all time. Next to X-Men Wolverine Origins, but that wasn't an X-Men movie, that was about Wolverine.
Yeah.
That movie was shockingly bad. That movie was so bad it was almost entertaining.
Again.
Making Deadpool look like Baraka from Mortal Kombat? Oh my god, such bad memories. But thank goodness for Ryan Reynolds for saving Deadpool and effectively killing off that Deadpool
and now,
in Deadpool 2.
Talking about Deadpool 3 going into Deadpool 3.
Yes.
They're
getting Sean Levy.
Yeah.
Sean Levy to direct it.
Yes.
Go ahead, I'm sorry. I just wanted to say I was excited about that.
Again, X-Men movies, the old one, can choke on the dick. Like,
Yeah.
I want to let you guys know that.
And they're not really canon anymore.
You screwed up my boy, Apocalypse,
In Deadpool.
and Shatterstar. Shatterstar is one of my hidden favorite characters from X-Force.
Shatterstar?
Shatterstar. He was what I love Shatterstar when he came in the comics. I love Shatterstar.
What was his abilities? I forget.
He had the ability of his mother and his father where he had luck on his side.
Oh, that's right.
And he was an OD swordsman.
Right. Which X-Men was he in?
He was an X-Force.
No.
He was
In
in
the
Deadpool
movies.
2.
What movie was he in? Deadpool 2?
Yeah.
He was good in that, wasn't he?
In like 2 seconds.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But he was funny, though.
Right. But that was my boy. Like, the way...
No, they gender swapped him, right?
No, they left him alone. It's just they killed him in 2 seconds.
But there was a female character that had luck, but it wasn't luck. It was her dead grandmother
Yeah.
that was protecting her. It was a similar ability.
Some shit like that, yeah.
But other than that flaw, I did love Deadpool 2. That is my favorite.
Deadpool 2 had a lot of great scenes, but you should have...
And Brad Pitt being in the movie getting electrocuted, he was only paid $1,000 to be in that movie. He agreed to it, too. He wanted to get paid $1,000 to be in Deadpool 2. It was so funny. It was hysterical.
So, while we're waiting for Doctor Strange 2, Obi-Wan Kenobi, the miniseries, is actually going to come out in the middle of that.
Yeah, May 25th.
May 25th.
Yeah, directed by Deborah Chow, who directed 2 of the best episodes of Season 1 of The Mandalorian.
Right.
Season 1, Episode 3, and Season 1, Episode 7. 2 of the best episodes of Season 1. Deborah Chow, she's a very, very good director. And she has a lot of talent and a lot of potential.
I really love what she did with Mandarin. With
Mandalorian.
Mandalorian. Not the Mandarin, not the rings. So I'm interested to see what she's going to do with this.
Yeah.
The trailer already has me, ready to go.
It was a top trending trailer for a whole day. Yeah.
The fact that they got Ewan McGregor back.
Yeah. And he looks older.
He looks older. So
It's a 10-year jump where Obi-Wan Kenobi is in his 40s, I think.
Yeah. So we're going to get the old Kenobi, which I love it. I really enjoy that. After that, let's go to a little bit more kiddie. Minions 2, Rise of Gru, which is July 1st. Thor, Love and Thunder, July 8th. So
What was the first one?
The Minions 2.
Right, I'm not into Minions.
I have a daughter, so I have to watch
Okay, so you have to watch it. Okay, go enjoy it. Tell me what happens.
For you Miles Morales fans, we finally got a date, October 7th, for the Miles Morales Spider-Man 2 for the multiverse.
But I want to say of Thor: Love and Thunder, I hope it's great. I don't know what's going on right now in the movie. They're doing reshoots, and the movie is 4 months away. We haven't seen a teaser or a trailer or anything, so I don't know what's going on with the movie.
Well, so far they keep talking about that they're bringing Jane Foster as the female Thor.
Right, that's the story, but I don't know what's going on behind the scenes.
I personally think they're going too fast.
Okay.
Like, don't get me wrong, I love the female Thor. I met the artist, I met the writer.
Comic book was fine. It was okay.
Right. But I think in the MCU, you're rushing it too fast.
Right.
I think we should have, within this time, a Captain Marvel 2, which explains a lot more stuff that's happening behind the MCU.
Yeah.
Okay, than just having Thor just come out of nowhere.
Right, and I'm not an anti-SJW. Some people would, because I'm on the left, I vote on the left and stuff. My politics is liberal. But a lot of the cheesy, corny writing of Marvel Comics, people have said it's because of SJ, social justice warrior writers or whatever. And that's why you see a lot of female characters being propped up at the expense of the male characters in Marvel Comics, at least in the 2010s. And people are worried that that's going to bleed into the MCU, with Jane becoming female Thor, becoming Thor, Lady Thor, whatever. But so far, with the progressive woke stuff in the MCU, I think they're doing a much better job than the comic books, in my opinion. Because what I loved about Hawkeye, what was so fun about it was Kate Bishop. Yeah, she's the main character. She is the female lead of the show, but she wasn't propped up at the expense of Hawkeye. Hawkeye was still a badass. He was still Hawkeye, and Kate Bishop was, excuse my French, a fucking moron. Like, she was such an idiot, and I loved it so much. I loved Hawkeye so much because Kate Bishop was so much of a, like, not a ditz, but she was just an idiot. She was constantly making mistakes, constantly screwing up, constantly one step behind, and it's because she's not a superhero yet. She's not Kate Bishop. She's learning, she's getting better, and she's training and learning from Hawkeye. And she gets better and better and better, and by the end of the series, even though she's getting, in the whole show, she gets her ass handed to her, like, so many times. I mean, it was surprising considering it's a Disney show. I'm like, this woman's getting beat up a lot. Like, this is a Disney series. This is PG-13, right? But Kingpin was beating up Kate Bishop so many times. Finally, she used whatever intelligence she had to outsmart him, and she gained the upper hand, and then Kingpin got whatever, you know. But so I was like, you know, this is the type of progressive, good writing that I want from the MCU. When it comes to their female characters, you want their characters to work hard to get better, and that's actually, unlike you, that's why I enjoy Captain Marvel so much. I like Captain Marvel because she worked hard to become insanely powerful. She trained for 6 years with the Kree. She trained many years in hand-to-hand martial arts combat to control her abilities, even though she wasn't at full power. She learned to control a little bit of her abilities, so when she lost that chip on her neck, she was able to completely control her abilities, where her abilities were getting more and more powerful. And so that's what I like about the MCU. They make their characters work for their abilities. They're not just super insanely powerful from the jump. They have to work hard, train, and get to that point.
Right. So, again, I think Captain Marvel could have been better.
Right, it could have, definitely. It's not a great movie.
No, it's definitely not.
I liked it, it was good, but I understand why so many people didn't like it.
I wouldn't even say that it was good.
I give it a 7.5. You what? You give it a 3? A good guess.
Yeah, that was a really good guess too. That was like
spot on. Okay.
Pause for a second. So let's just talk about Captain Marvel and why, because we haven't had the chance to talk about Captain Marvel.
Okay.
Lee left, and Sammy was doing something. So Captain Marvel. First off, the whole nonsense that Brie Larson was talking about her fellow co-stars in the MCU. I love Brie Larson from Scott Pilgrim
and Rogue. She gave a great performance in Rogue.
She's the type of actress that you can see if she had better directing, she would be a better actress. Right.
The directing was the problem because the structure of the movie was the bigger problem because the movie wanted to be a fish out of water story. It wanted to be a buddy cop movie. It was also an alien invasion movie.
Which
it was too much. It was being too much in the first half of the movie.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. Like this is what the problem with MCU right now is. They're rushing too fast, and they're rushing characters that are not supposed to be there yet.
I don't think they're rushing. I think because there's not going to be any Avengers movies, it feels like they're putting in a lot of characters, and because they got Disney Plus now, they're putting in a lot of characters to set up for a Secret Wars movie or some big Avengers-like movie. And all of these characters are going to be in it.
I would love to see a Secret Wars movie.
Yeah.
But out of all that, though, like when it comes to the Secret Wars, my personal pick is I think Angelica Houston should come out of retirement and play Madam Web.
The daughter of John Huston?
Remember Morticia from the Addams Family?
Yeah,
her.
Yeah, she's the daughter of John Huston, I think.
Oh,
She's a good actress. She would be good. I agree.
yeah. So
All the Hustons are good actors, so put any of them in the MCU.
so Angelica Houston as Madam Web to fuck around with Spider-Man and the whole multi-universe to actually break it down to him and like why he's like all the Spider-Mans are the way that they are. Little things like that. I think the MCU could really go move forward.
Yeah.
But we're just gonna have to wait until May 6th to really find out what the fuck is going on.
Yeah, Thor, Love and Thunder, I don't know if it's going to stay on its July date. I hope so, but they haven't released a single teaser or trailer yet. So I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, and it's right around the corner. Like, we're already in March.
Yeah, and you know what? They got away with that with Spider-Man No Way Home. Because that movie was in the buzz for a while, but they didn't show a teaser or a trailer for Spider-Man No Way Home until September.
Right.
And the movie came out in December, so they had 3 months of marketing and promotion, and it made all that money. You know? Like, so maybe that's the strategy they're doing with Thor, Love and Thunder.
Probably. So now with this, things got pushed back. Black Adam is now October 21st.
I can't wait for that movie.
Black Panther is November 11th.
Yeah.
Your favorite movie, not mine. Avatar 2, December
Yes.
16th.
Yes.
I hate the blue people.
It's so weird how Warner Brothers did not want Aquaman to be the straight competitor to Avatar 2 because they were probably worried that the foreign box office was not going to be up to snuff because Avatar, while domestically it did great, it did way better in the foreign box office. Domestically, it made $760 million domestically. The foreign box office, it made $2 billion. And so Aquaman 2 made about $700 million or $800 million in the foreign box office. So they were probably worried that they weren't going to make the same amount of money because domestically they might have done really well, even better than the first movie.
Right.
But the foreign box office might have taken a big step
I'm
back.
just worried about what the fuck they're going to talk about.
You know? So, putting Shazam 2, I know Shazam 2 is not as expensive as Aquaman 2, so that's probably why they felt more comfortable in competing with Avatar 2, because Avatar 2, yeah, they'll let that movie make $1.5 billion or $2 billion worldwide, maybe $2.5 billion, and Shazam could be good at just $400 or $500 million, right? Because it's expensive, more expensive than the first movie, but not as expensive as Aquaman and Black Adam, right? Yeah.
So, going into next year, already 2023, in March 17th, Aquaman 2.
Yeah.
And June, The Flash.
Yeah, they delayed The Flash.
So, I'm interested to see what's the timeline going to be for these couple of movies and how everything's going to play out.
I think The Flash is going to be a success because you already got 2 Batman fan bases coming to the movie. You already got a Flash fan base that's popular and passionate because of the CW series, but still gets watched to this day.
Right.
It doesn't have the viewers it had 8 years ago, but it still gets viewers.
Right.
And then you got the Tim Burton Batman movies with Michael Keaton, which were the biggest successes for DC next to Superman. Actually, they were more successful than Superman the movie, and more successful than Superman 2, 3, and 4 combined, I think, at some point. So, at the worldwide box office after inflation, those were the most successful DC movies until the Dark Knight sequels, Aquaman, and now we got the Batman. So, yeah, you got Ben Affleck's Batman, who so many people love. Not you. I know I love Ben Affleck's Batman. And then you got the Michael Keaton Batman, and both of these Batmen are in The Flash. This could be an exciting movie.
I can't wait. On that note, folks, we just want to tell you have a wonderful evening. We will see you guys here Wednesday.
Yes, Wednesday.
Halo night. It was a pleasure, sir.
Yes, what are we going to talk about on Wednesday? Star Wars and Star Trek?
Maybe Halo the TV series?
Well, Halo the TV series, sure.
Yeah.
But we have a Halo night before the Halo series premieres. So we can talk about Halo that night as well. 2 nights. But we'll be talking about Star Wars Wednesday, I guess the Halo series.
Yeah.
Okay.
Folks, love you guys. See you guys next time.
Yeah, have a good night. Cool. This is great.
I got the only item from the fuck.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's some good food. Oh my goodness.
I can't wait to go home to finish the video so I can upload it already. And by the time I take this. So Wednesday, talking about Sailor Moon then?
No, I just want to make a quick video, and I guess Wednesday we can talk about Sailor Moon. Hey, what's up, guys? I just want to make a quick shout out to Sailor Moon, one of my favorite animes of all time, one of my favorite franchises, with one of the greatest, protagonists ever, Usagi. Yeah, she whines and cries all the time, but she gets her shit together, picks herself back up, and kills the monster, kills the main villain or whatever, with the help of her friends, the Sailor Soldier, Sailor Guardian, Sailor Moon, the Sailor Guardian, Sailor Mars, Sailor Mercury,
Jupiter.
Sailor Jupiter, Sailor Venus, Sailor Mercury. I said Sailor Mercury? Yes, okay. And there's also Sailor Uranus, Sailor Neptune, Sailor Saturn, who are my 3 favorite Sailor Guardians outside of the main group. But yeah, this year's the 30th anniversary, 2022, and it's a big deal. I go to the Sailor Moon meetup, which has its own Instagram page, it has its own Facebook. There's a lot of great cosplayers.
So we will be there. The Nerdy Life Show will be there. I'll be doing photography work then.
Oh, for the Sailor Moon meetup?
Hell yeah.
All right. Yeah, the Sailor Moon meetup has cosplay photo shoots every year in November. They did it in 2020, obviously, because of the pandemic. But when Anime NYC came back in 2021, Sailor Moon had a massive photo shoot. I took a lot of pictures. It was great. I posted them on Facebook. The Sailor Moon meetup is on Facebook. I think it's on, or it was on meetup.com, but it's on Facebook. It's on Instagram. So it's great. It's a great group, and I just wanted to do a quick shout out to the Sailor Moon meetup and Sailor Moon as a franchise. And if you love Sailor Moon Crystal, all 3 seasons are on Netflix, as well as the 2 movies that take place after season 3. They're all on Netflix. And the original Sailor Moon anime, I think, is still on Hulu with Sailor Moon Crystal, but Sailor Moon Crystal is also on Netflix.
Nice.
Yeah, that's it. Awesome.
So, happy 30th anniversary, Sailor Moon.
Happy 30th anniversary.
All right, bye.
All right. All right, we're done. That's it. Good. Because I wore this shirt for a reason. I was like, wait a minute, did we talk about Sailor Moon at all?
Hey guys, this is the Nerdy Life Show, and we're here at Action Burger at
292 Graham Avenue.
That's right. If you guys want to have a grand time, fun time with your friends, great food, great environment, video games, all that jazz, come on down and have some fun. They have pizza burgers, they have the mac and cheese with bacon in it, they have cheese fries, and they have different, from virgin drinks to not so virgin drinks. Ooh la la.
Yeah, every type of drink. Every type of food.
So folks, please come on down. Thank you very much. We love you from the Nerdy Life Show. Come down to Action Burger and have some fun.
Live long and prosper.
Oh yeah.